You know, in the modern age, people tend to be very socially conscious. We live in a culture filled with extremely selfless and empathetic individuals who are always looking to get involved in worthwhile social causes. That is, just as long as the cause requires them to expend little to no effort and contribute nothing of value to the world. We love to come together for no reason and rally around nothing to do nothing at all. This is the most popular sort of activism around, and TikTok is the best place to organize these kinds of charitable endeavors. So here's the latest. A new viral TikTok video has called attention to the scourge of quote-unquote trapped water. What is trapped water? Well, here's a user who goes by the name Spread Your Dreams explaining in a video that has been viewed now over 3 million times. And here's what she says.
Okay, I just picked this up. It's a full bottle of water. And I'm on this quest to dump out any water that gets trapped in the plastic, because once it's trapped in these plastic bottles, we now have lost it basically forever. So it's really important when you see, hi doggo, when you see water that's discarded, to open it up and dump it out. Alternately, to make sure that when you're done with water, and that goes for like, you know, juices or sports drinks or whatever, dump that shit out if you're not going to use it. Because if you don't, it's trapped forever, and we've lost that water to our ecosystem. So, thanks.
So there it is. The new current thing, free the water. If you find a bottle laying around with liquid inside, dump the liquid on the ground. Don't even worry about what the liquid is. Just, dump it on the ground. And if you don't, eventually the earth will run out of water. And this is an idea that may sound completely insane, because it is, but it resonated with the folks on TikTok. Here are the top comments on that video. Somebody named Simply Sarah says, "Not me teaching the water cycle today, but never thinking about this." Ken's says, "Trapped water just ruined my day." Rachel Okeki says, "I've thought about this every day since I learned about the water cycle, and this video makes me feel so validated." Another comment says, "We'll now be anxious about trapped water forever." Another one, "No, seriously, this freaks me out. All water has to go back to the rain cycle." Yes, we must facilitate the water's journey back into the rain cycle. That's why what I will do is I'll bring all of my half-empty water bottles up into the sky in a helicopter, and I empty them directly into a cloud, because that is the safest and most environmentally friendly strategy, I think. The ocean's not going to dry up on my watch, I'll tell you that. But still, many TikTokers are now very concerned about the trapped water problem because some random woman made a video about it. This was followed by a bunch of other videos from other people on the platform talking about how anxious this issue has made them. Watch.
Is anybody still thinking about that lady who was talking about trapped water in water bottles? I've thought about it every day for, 2 weeks now. Makes me very sad.
Every day she thinks about water in water bottles. Now, as expected, soon the media joined in. Yahoo published an article with this headline: "Woman warns about the dangerous phenomenon that is trapped water." They report, one TikToker recently created a video titled "Free the Water" to inform her viewers about the dangers of trapped water and the need to dump out liquids contained in plastic bottles that aren't going to be used. According to the Texas Water Quality Association, trapped water is indeed a big problem. In the U.S. alone, we waste 22 million gallons of water each year in landfills due to trapped water inside plastic water bottles, the organization wrote on the QWet website. Quote, "That is 22 million gallons of water that we will never get back into the Earth's water cycle." The organization went on to point out that fresh water makes up an extremely small fraction of all the water on Earth, and that there is no new water being created. The water that exists on our planet in the atmosphere is all there is. That means that when we effectively take it out of circulation by trapping it indefinitely in plastic, that decreases the total water supply for all life. Okay, now, I'm no water expert, but let me just be the first to say that this is all a bunch of insane nonsense. And to begin with, a small fraction of the water on Earth is fresh water, yes, but a huge fraction is salt water. And the salt water becomes fresh water when it evaporates. So water from the ocean goes up into the sky as a gas and it comes down as fresh water. That's why the rain is not salt water, even though much of it is coming from the ocean. So that's the way it works. And altogether, the Earth holds about 326 million trillion gallons of water. A typical bottle of water is 16 ounces, which means that there are 8 bottles in every gallon, which means that the Earth has enough water to fill 326 million trillion bottles 8 times. And that means it would take millions of years to even begin to noticeably deplete the water supply by leaving water trapped in water bottles. Okay, you could try to do it. We could all band together as a species and say, we want to dry up the oceans with water bottles, and we would just spend all day filling water bottles from the ocean. And it would still take us millions of years to achieve this. But actually, you couldn't even do it in a million years, because water bottles will decompose eventually, and they'll decompose in about 500 years. And so by the time you get to millions of years, all the water bottles have decomposed and the water has escaped. And even that is irrelevant, because it's not even true that water left in bottles will not be able to escape until the bottle decomposes. In fact, if the cap was ever opened, then the water will still evaporate and escape from the bottle, from the cracks, where the cap was opened, in a comparatively short amount of time. And if for some reason the bottle was never opened and yet discarded, it will almost certainly be compacted and crushed at the landfill, at which point the water will come out and escape. Since Roe v. Wade was overturned, the left has lost their mind, making abortion their official sacrament. But the grassroots pro-life efforts, which are now more important than ever, are booming. Despite the narrative, pro-lifers have not gone away. In fact, they've increased in number. One of the efforts I support is 40 Days for Life, because they're changing hearts and minds in blue pro-abortion states. With 1 million volunteers in 1,600 cities, 40 Days for Life holds peaceful vigils outside abortion facilities. 40 Days for Life has opened a record number of locations since Roe was overturned, and they've grown in volunteers. The success has come with new unwanted attention, though, from the DOJ. 40 Days for Life just made national headlines because they're suing the DOJ on behalf of their volunteer, Mark Houck, who had his house raided by the FBI. They're going on offense against our compromised FBI and DOJ. You can help them fight their ongoing legal battles and pursue free speech for their volunteers, including Mark Houck, by giving a tax-deductible gift of any amount at 40daysforlife.com. That's 40daysforlife.com. To review, it would be impossible to significantly deplete the water supply by leaving water trapped in plastic bottles forever. And it's also impossible to leave water trapped in plastic bottles forever anyway, because plastic may take a long time to decompose. It is not magical, indestructible material, however. It is not eternal. At the absolute most, it would be trapped for 500 years, which is a long time, but not forever, and not nearly enough time to make a dent in the water supply. But in reality, the water in the bottle that you throw into your garbage will almost certainly be freed and traveling back up into the atmosphere in the form of a gas within the week, if not sooner. So everything about this trend and the logic behind it is false and stupid and ridiculous and not based in science or common sense or any notion of objective reality at all. But it gives people a new thing to pretend to worry about for a few days, and it gives them a very easy way to pretend that they're making a difference in the world. Just dump out your Gatorade, and suddenly you're saving 8 billion people from dying of thirst. That doesn't make sense, but if you're very stupid, it might make you feel good about yourself. Which, of course, as we know, is all that matters. At least in the minds of the trapped water crusaders, who are all today, we must say, canceled. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to listen to my full podcast on the go, you can check out The Matt Walsh Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.